the things that probably shows up in your mailbox or in post, it might be every month, probably every 6 months, more probably every 12 months is your super statement. A lot of Australians seem to be able to just take that and file it and think, well, that'll come in handy one day, and they don't take a lot of notice of their super statement. And it's one of those things, it's probably one of the most important documents you're going to have, because that's actually going to be setting your path in a couple of years when you retire. And so just to look at it and go, that's too complex, and I don't understand the difference between, what happens if I die, what happens if I take a lump sum, what happens if I take a pension out of this. It's just one of those things that's one of those too hard bastards. But it's something that people really have to then sit down, grab a cup of coffee, and actually start looking at it. Usually on the websites of whatever your super fund, they'll actually break it down, and often on whatever format your super statement comes, there's also information of what everything means. And it's probably getting through it just at least once or twice to start understanding it. The other thing is there's so many resources. Every one of those super funds are going to have a help desk, a phone call, and they're used to having people ring up, and they want to help. They want to help because they want you to stay in their super fund. So it's one of the things you should do. When you're looking at your super fund, and the questions you've got to ask, especially if you are making that phone call or going online to a chat room or whatever, is start understanding a little bit about the fees and how much you're getting charged and what do you do for those fees. Have a look at the insurances that are embedded in your super fund. Some insurances are fantastic in your super fund, and people don't know they're there. So if something happens to you, that's one of the first places you should go. But on the flip side is sometimes you might not need that insurance anymore, and you've got to look at that. And when you're swapping super funds, a lot of people look at a fund performance and go, I'm going to just move to this other super fund. Or someone's told them just to move to another super fund. And if you're doing that and you're leaving some really valuable insurance behind that you've been paying for the last 20 years, that's a real problem. So get advice if you're going to move and ask those questions. But the last thing I'd say about super funds and statements and performances, a lot of times people will get all excited about that and go on a website and say, can I compare these 5 funds or whatever? And that's fine to do. But keep in mind, what was the risk profile that you went into that super fund with, and what's your risk profile now? And the return that you're getting might be in line with the risk profile you've got, more so than something that's got a higher risk. So just moving funds, especially at a pretty critical time of life, might not be the way to go. It's also probably a great time to get advice, but look at the statement, talk to an advisor if you've got one, and make sure that it's still delivering what you want, especially if it's an income stream in the future.